in a faction in Oretary. But this story doesn't start today. It goes way back to my last video, posted on September 12th, 2021. I had said, I should discuss the fact that I have a slight interest in joining some sort of gang or something in this game, because I think there's gangs in this. At first, I had an interest of starting my own faction. The farthest I went with that was a little bit of planning and speaking to Dan about it. However, I never went through with it. Foreshadowing, though. Later that same day, I got a message from Atlas Bureau. The message read, "I saw you wanted to join a gang in your video." So, one long conversation later, and I pondered to myself. I thought, is this gang, Alter, really worth joining? Is this something I really want to go and promote, or no? Will this be the right choice? I ended up going with it because it didn't seem to have any problems as far as I could see. The one thing I have learned with choosing a specific faction when presented with a plethora of options is this. You will piss people off no matter what. It doesn't matter if I joined Alter or any other faction, because no matter what, someone will still root for my downfall. You can't satisfy everyone, and you have to learn to live with that. Which is one thing I hate about picking just one faction. I always end up losing support. I always get backlash. Plus, no one ever respects my decision. Now, besides the fact that I didn't see any problems in plain sight with the faction, there was another reason for joining. It's simply, I was going off of a first come, first serve policy. When Atlas came to me, I knew Atlas had actually taken the time out of his day to listen to what I had to say in the video. His ability to listen, comprehend, and make rational decisions based on information provided is what got me to join his faction. So after I was convinced to join Alter, I asked what the application process was. Atlas was pretty lenient with it and said he would just let me join, likely because I make videos. But I made it clear to him that this wasn't an option for me. That's the one thing that I really despise, people trying to make loopholes for me. I hate when people act like I'm better than everyone else just because I make videos. I'm not. This isn't my first rodeo, as this has happened many times in military groups, so I straight up said to him, no. I'm not saying this to portray myself as some white knight in shining armor, it just goes against my own personal morals and beliefs. I reinstated that I wanted to properly join, so he explained to me that the application process was through an application. I wanted to make sure that I was actually being accepted for my application and not just because of my status, so one Discord equivalent of a twit longer later and the application is done. My application had spanned more than 4,000 characters, and when I showed that to Atlas, he just said, "Jesus Christ, what the ducking frick." Now, I won't read to you the whole application as it is pretty wordy, but just the important parts. Question 1. Why do you want to join Alter? I would like to join Alter for a variety of reasons, including, but not limited to, for affiliation purposes, invitation reasons, and finally, for content. Starting off, I would like to join Alter because I simply wish to be in an affiliation where I can meet new people, learn their unique abilities, and work on my own. I feel it's important that within Oretary, I have a group that will stand with me when times get dark or things go wrong, or at least they should. I also find it important to join an affiliation to gain a reputation and earn respect within the city, without letting my ego get ahead of me, of course. Second off, I would like to join Alter because I was invited to the affiliation as asked in my video, which is important. It means that the person who had invited me actually listened to what I said, which is vital in any group to have good communications. The person who invited me was also the first to actually ask me to join an affiliation, which I was going off of a first come, first serve basis. Also, honestly, I would find it rude to not accept an invite like such. Third, and finally, I would like to join Alter for content reasons. Within the group, I plan to make videos for the purposes of promoting the group and henceforth growing my channel. Lucky for this faction, if I make content out of it, people will likely flock to it. It works for both of us. Also, having a tight-knit audience and community is extremely important to me as a creator. Question 2. What skills do you possess that would be efficient in factional activities? As this is meant to be a truthful application, I will speak it. I'm not your typical shooter of weapons. I can't just wield a gun and be good at it. I have practiced for years on end with so many different types of weapons, and yet I still seem to have pretty awful aim. However, I do make up for that with the fact that I possess the 4 core values of this faction. Leadership. I have led for many years on end and have gotten quite good at learning what's a good move and what's a bad one. Communication. I have seen many forms of communication come and go over the years, in-game chat, Discord chats, Discord calls, etc. But I have a loud voice and a commanding one at that, so I tend to be picked when it comes to actually getting word across the field. What I have learned is that generally voice calls are the best form of communication, so as long as they are organized and not 35 people thrown in one call. Speaking of organization, on to my next point. Organization. When I started in the military community back in 2016 or so, it was a mess. Everything was generally unorganized, but I didn't care at the time. As the years went on and organization got a lot better, I started to form a new appreciation for good organization. I learned that to smoothly run a group, you need to organize people into units and groups so both you and them know where they're supposed to be. Discipline. Final core value. discipline. I used to screw around so much in groups when I was a kid, and even not so long ago in more roleplay-esque games, such as Boulevard. However, I've grown to learn that such behavior is extremely immature and childish, so I uphold discipline within both myself and others as it keeps everyone and everything as it should be. Those were the 2 gold mines worth of information, and I poured my heart out for them. Luckily, I barely passed by the skin of my teeth. I was basically 1 word away from being the next high school dropout. I was saved by the grace of God. The flesh of my body against the enamel of my mouth saved my career. Thanks. But next came the fun part, the makeover. Alright, so this part's gonna be fun. Basically, Alter has given me a uniform that I am required to wear, but actually they've given me 2. They said, get 20 Robux, spend your 20 Robux, and there's a couple things you'll spend it on. First off, it would be the Alter Combatics V1 with the shirt and pants. That is mainly for when you're at war, or you're in war. It's your war uniform is exactly what it is. But there's also the Alter Blackout, the shirt, and I guess not the pants either. I guess we're just going, shirt. So, everyone knows this look right here. This is the, what you guys think is the classic Lyodite look. The OG, you know, the Lyodite white coat, if you will. But no. I've had many characters through my past, and if you ever watched my USM series, this one's a little more familiar to you. It's another overcoat. It's more like a black-themed one. I switched to the white because I liked it more. What I'm probably going to be wearing for the most part is blackout uniforms, so that's obviously the top, and if I can find the pants, thank you so much. Hello? There we go. So, you know, that looks cool and all, and I mean, that really resonates with the Lyodite look, you know, the glasses, the hair, the everything, but I felt like it wasn't enough. I needed to go a little bit further. So, obviously the face and the glasses will never change. I will always be a blind baboon as it is. However, I can change the hair, as that's the glory of cosmetics, so obviously I'm gonna put in the black hair, and I also have a black beret. And you may be wondering, why do you have these 2 items? Did you spend them for this new Alter? No, I did not spend them for Alter. This was Lyodite V2. Lyodite V2, when I wore the face mask, that's what the mask is. That's what that was. So, yeah, this is basically the final look I'm going for, and he's got drip. You know, if it really comes down to it, and I really need to go on a secretive operation, I could do what Twitter would cancel me for. I could do a little blackface, and, you know, black hands, and black chest. This is obviously not something that stays permanent. If I ever join a new faction, or, you know, if I ever leave Alter, I'm going to clearly go back into my snowsuit and go right on back to Finland, because that's where I belong. So, with my finesse and fit in check, we're pretty much done. That pretty much concludes this video, although I will say one thing. Every time I join the game now, whether or not I'm in a war uniform, I seem to be random killed. To be clear to the audience, orange means war, black means no war. Do you understand? Anyways, I hope you all did enjoy the video. If you did, consider subscribing. Now, this has been Garrett, and peace out.